Before I start, like, getting to the actual point of this video, I just want to say, like, I'm not a script kind of guy. Whenever I have something to say to you guys, I don't, like, write it down and then record it. Like, in the trailer tutorial, I think at some point I was, like, I don't know, I was just talking about something. I was talking about, like, why I left and how I was apologizing a little bit. And, like, there's no script for that. There's no script for this video. I like to just speak in the moment, which is also why you might hear me just pause for like 10 seconds because I need to think of what words are actually real words. And actually, also before I get to the point of this video, if your avatar like ever does this where it doesn't load in, if you just go over here and jump into lava, it actually fixes it. Now, like, usually resetting doesn't really help. I think it has maybe one or two times for me, I'm not sure. But jumping into lava it's a guaranteed way to get your avatar back. And even once you die, it stays back. So anyways, the point of this video is about tutorials, because I've uploaded two of them, and I guess I saw one guy asking for more, and I was like, oh yeah, I mean, sometimes I think about that, but not really. I don't know why I can hear these sounds. I hate this game so much. Um, so about making more tutorials, when I made my first one, I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm gonna make tutorials all the time, I'm gonna build more stuff for them. It actually just started out as like, that RV that I uploaded was like my first kind of like actual trying to make a really good build and not just like, I shouldn't say that because obviously like when I first started the game, right, I tried to make good builds and I was just a worse builder. But what I mean is like I was really trying to lock in and like use compressors and everything and try to make something cool. So that was like my first like really big compressor build. And then I was like, you know what? I don't think I recall there being lots of RV tutorials for this game. And I looked it up and like, yeah, there's a few, but there's not many. And I feel like mine's a little different than these ones. So, maybe it would be kind of popular. Maybe people would enjoy it if I did that. So I did it. And then I started building the truck. And I was thinking, I'm probably just going to keep this one for myself because I feel like there's lots of truck tutorials out there that are all different kinds, sizes, and types and everything. And I was just gonna keep it to myself as like a personal project, but then I was like, you know what? I mean, I might as well just share it, right? Like, I've got it. It's not like I'm gonna die if I share my stuff. And then, after that, I really didn't have a plan. Like, I stopped building a lot of stuff, and I do a lot of things that I just never continue. Someone asked me to build a bus, and I started this like a few months ago, and like I never did anything after this. I kind of started this. I might come back to it, but I don't know. I just never really did anything. And just earlier, just the other day, I wanted to make a box truck, and I started this like maybe a week ago, and I just never continued after this point. And I started building a plane at some point. Now I'm just, at this point, I'm just like rambling on. I think I already got my point across, but yeah, I build stuff, and I just don't really finish it. And what happens, usually for me, is that I start off with lots of like motivation and maybe even some confidence. Here it is. And I'm like, this is going to be a really good build. I think I'm going to love it. I'm going to do really good. And then I start it, and as I go on, I'm like, wow, I'm actually really happy with this. Now I don't want to continue. Because what I'm thinking is, like, if I continue, this build's just going to be terrible. Like, I'm gonna mess something up. It looks good right now. If I continue, what if I mess it up? I don't want to mess it up. So what I do is I just stop. And then eventually I just lose motivation. I just don't even, like, this is the first time I loaded this slot in, like, a very long time. And, I started this, and the same thing happened to me with this. I made some posts about it recently. You can tell I got back into it. With the same thing, I built the grill and the front bumper and the lights, and I was just like, man, I really don't want to continue. And then, after that a little bit, I built this thing back here, and then I stopped again, like, just this little just these half plates. I just built those, and then I stopped there. And then I didn't do anything for a while. And then just recently, the past couple of weeks, I got really back into building it. So that's a good thing, because that's really good. And then I was posting some pictures, and someone was like, is this Jeep going to be a tutorial? Or if not, is there going to be any other ones? Which is the point of this video. I think I've been rambling too much. I don't think I even got to the point of this video yet. Well, I guess I kind of did, which was saying, like, I didn't plan to, like, keep making tutorials, so. And then I started talking about how I don't finish my builds. Like, if I had finished more of my builds, I might have thought about, like, making a tutorial of them, but And then comes the thing is like this, I don't know if I would do a tutorial on it because it's so complicated, you know? And like, whether it's my fault or whether it's your guys' fault, I mean, I probably could have made the videos a little better, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Some of you, like, are commenting, not lots of you, like, most of you are actually, like, you love the videos, but there's a couple people that are like, you know, oh, this is too hard, or this is just a waste of time. And it's like, I don't know if that's my issue, like, I probably could have done better, but I feel like it's also kind of their issue. Because obviously it does work properly, it just might be hard to follow. And I feel like this would be really, really hard to follow. And then I started thinking about, like, what if I make it easier? What if I, what if I, like, talk a little slower? Like, not like, oh, hi, guys, this compressor, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like, not slower, but more clearly. And then this color coding, I actually did this for myself because I was so lost in my own work. I didn't understand how it worked, so I started. Well, I did understand how it worked, but I just, like, I didn't want to fumble it up, so I painted them to make it easier. And I was thinking, what if I did that for like, the tutorials? Because I think just a couple of months ago, I was watching a tutorial where this guy, every time he placed a compressor, so at the very start of the build, he would, like, place one and be like, alright, this color is this compressor, right? And then later, he would get a new compressor with, like, a different button, and then he would say, alright, all the ones with this one are going to be this color. And, another one, negative that number, right? And then, that one's going to be pink, right? So maybe I would do that. But, and the biggest point of this video, I guess, is that I don't know when the next tutorial will be, and I don't know what it will be. Because, again, this is like my main project right now, so whether I finish this or not is going to determine if it becomes a tutorial. And another thing that will determine it is how complicated it is, because I plan all the doors to work, and I only have the trunk so far, and it doesn't even work yet. It's just like a separate object, it doesn't even open. I just put it in there. Like, I drag it over and I put it in, like, when I'm spawned in. So it's going to be a lot more complicated this. There's still 4 more doors, there's still a hood. I want to have an engine. I want to have some details underneath, not like maximum, but just so it's not flat, like, it's not going to be realistic, it's just going to be not flat. And then I want, like, a really realistic interior, and the easiest thing, about making this car is actually because I have it in real life, and not only that, so I can, like, if I'm looking online, there might be, like, oh, I need a picture of this, like, exact angle, and I can't find one. But I can just go outside and I can just go look and I can take a picture and look at it while I'm building. But another thing is that also this vehicle happens to be a really big rectangle, so it's really easy to build in a game like this. My friend is always trying to build like Ferraris and stuff, not just Ferraris, but he's trying to always build around cars, and he always he does pretty good, but then he just he just can't figure it out. He just doesn't work on it anymore because he just can't do it. It's too round, you know what I mean? If I had been trying to make a more round car than this, I probably would have quit a long time ago. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. This thing could be, like, barely more complicated than this when it's done, or it could take up the whole plot. And I feel like, even in its current state, it might be just, like... Another thing to think about, too, is not just how complicated it is. Even if I make it easy to follow, it's still gonna be a long video. Like, the truck's already, like, a pretty long video. I don't know how long it is. But it's like, it's pretty long. It's like hours, right? So this thing would probably be like, I don't know, let's just say, for example, it's like 15 hours. Even if that's in multiple parts, or even if you stop in between, like, still not everyone has that time to build it, even if they really want it. They got school, or they got a job, or they just want to focus maybe on some... Maybe they don't want a build-by-build tutorial, like a block-by-block tutorial. Maybe they just want a guide so they can learn quickly without having to build the whole thing. Or maybe they just want to build a quick build that's easy, because I know for all tutorials, because even though I'm, like, not a bad builder, like, I think I'm not a great builder, but I'm pretty happy with myself. But even sometimes I'll just be like, I really wish I had one of these. I'm way too lazy to design it myself because I don't even really care. I just want to drive one. So, like, and then I just find a tutorial that's quick and easy and not going to take me, like, 30 hours to build it. And I feel like most people, if they clicked on a tutorial about this, they'd be like, oh yeah, I'm going to have this little Jeep to mess around with for like a couple minutes before I hate it. and then like, oh no, it's actually like a 50 million hour tutorial, so like I'm not gonna follow that. But I guess you guys could let me know. I think I commented about it, and I think I might have said a little bit about it in the post, I'm not sure. But I was saying now, what things should I do to make it easier? Should I do this color thing? Should I, like, what, I don't know, what else, like, what could I do to make it easier to follow, you know what I mean? And then tell me, guys, how much of you would actually be interested in not just having this, but, you know, like, you have to build this, right? How much you would still be interested in this tutorial, even if it's this complicated? Would enough of you want to build it if it was easy enough? Like, if you leave me suggestions on how to make it easier, would you be willing to try it, or is it just gonna be like, you know, it gets 100 views and it gets like, well, I'm not gonna complain about 100 views, by the way. That kind of sounded mean. I love every single view I get is amazing to me. But what I'm just trying to say is, based on my other tutorials, they have like, you know, 900 views, I think at the least, on the parts. So like, you know, if I uploaded this, would it just get like, you know, 100 views and then only like 4 people actually build it and only like 2 people actually finish it? Or is it still gonna be really popular? Like, you know, more views and more people are gonna attempt it and more people are gonna finish it, you know? Is it gonna be worth it? Is what I'm saying. Like, am I gonna spend hours, you know, building this on camera and trying to edit out all the parts? Because how I build tutorials is I will load this one and I'll be like, okay, I need to place this and this and this and this. Alright, and then I load the empty slot and I show you guys how to place those 4 blocks. And then I load this slot again and I go, okay, I need to place this and this, you know, and I keep loading it and afterwards I cut out all the parts where I load the other slot. So it's shorter and less confusing. So like, would I spend like hours and hours building this on camera and then editing it just for like only 2 people to be interested, or would you guys actually want this? Or do you want me to build like something else, you know, like I might not build anything else right now. I might focus on this project first, but at least leave suggestions whether I might do them or not. But yeah, just know, like, don't expect like, you know, a tutorial next week or something. Like, it might be a long, like, I just didn't really expect, you know, to be making tutorials all the time. But if you guys want it, I could try. But I still like to play this game for my own personal enjoyment, like how I was saying earlier. All my builds started out as a personal project, and I just decided to share them afterwards. So, I don't know, you guys can let me know what you think, what you want, if you want this, if you want me to make something else, or if you see me scrolling through this, if you see anything interesting, you know. I was thinking about making a tutorial on this, but then I was thinking no, because it's really complicated, like, and it's not even useful, you know? Like, at least you could drive a car around, and you could open the doors, and you could, like, bring your friends around the map in luxury while they put their realistic, Stanley Cup that doesn't fit in your cup holder, you know? I don't know why that was, like, a reference that I made, but I did. And, like, you know, you could drive them around, and you could do some off-roading, and you could fly in the air, or you could put wings on it. And this thing, well, it just takes forever to load. And then it just kind of sits there looking pretty, but not really doing anything. So I was thinking, I decided not to do a tutorial on this, because as cool as it looks, like I said, there's no function to it. Like, I don't know who would follow a tutorial. Maybe some people would. I'm not, like, calling anyone out who would. I'm just saying I don't feel like many people would follow a tutorial of something that is solely just for, like, looks, because then it, like, there's still a point to it, I know, but, like, you know, like, this is mostly just for showing off, honestly, right? And you don't, like, want to build a tutorial just to show it off. Like, maybe you'll have fun with it with your friends, or you'll modify it, or maybe you won't modify it, but at least it's something useful. But this just sits here and does nothing, so I feel like no one would really want that, and it's not really a good idea. Because like I said, at least with the car, even if you don't modify it, even if you just use it as it is, at least it's actually, like, serving a purpose other than you just, like, looking at it. Like, I mean, I guess I did make the screen turn on, but it's not useful. It's just another thing that makes it more pretty, I guess. It's also kind of glitchy sometimes, but, and I also never finished it. because I lost this motivation because I didn't really care anymore. And also because I had this in real life, which is the only reason I got so many details for it. And then I broke it by I tried to put more RAM in it, and I forgot to disconnect the battery, and I fried something, so I can't turn it on anymore, so I can't see what the home screen looks like anymore. So I stopped building the screen. But I don't know, I guess I don't really think anything inside of my save slot right now is worth making a tutorial on. But if you guys did see anything interesting, this is a tutorial, and this is a tutorial. Some things in here are tutorials that I have. If you did see anything interesting that you do want a tutorial on in here, though I highly doubt it, I could take a look at it and see. This is just a few different tutorials smashed together that I made. Like, not that I made, like I smashed, like I followed like few different tutorials, like how to make an engine, how to make a clutch, and how to make a differential. I put them all together. But I don't know, like a lot of these ones are really old or not finished. Like this is not finished. This stuff is like really, really old. All these like Apocalypse stuff, like more like Mad Max stuff, they're like really old. And this thing's not that old, but it's just kind of weird. And these railroad crossings, I don't even know when was the last time I spawned any of these. But they're also pretty old. They use motor locks and cameras, disconnectors instead of plates. I think it's really loud. Oh, I have my... You can see all the speakers. Like, I think it's really loud. Yeah, that guy just said his ears. Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I put so many speakers. And these tutorials, all these cranes and planes tutorials. This is the one I made, and this is the one I made. I don't have much of anything interesting that's actually been finished. You know, that's tutorial. That plane is. I think every single plane I have is actually tutorial because I don't know how to build planes. But yeah, I guess if you see anything in here or if you have any different ideas, you can let me know. And again, like, just because you say it doesn't mean like I'm gonna build it, or it doesn't mean I'm gonna build it soon, but I might. So just let me know.